These weren't meant to be seen. This dusty gray folder. It looks harmless, like something forgotten in a basement, but inside, decades of sealed truths, shocking operations, scandals, crimes, surveillance, experiments. The FBI spent over 100 years building its empire of secrecy, but now the vault is cracked open, and what's inside will shake your view of history, from celebrities secretly followed, to UFO reports, illegal raids, coded messages from serial killers, and even a Nazi escape theory. These are the 20 insane declassified FBI secrets the world was never supposed to see. What if we never knew? What if these files stayed buried? We'd never know how often the FBI crossed the line, how many innocent people were watched, how many famous names were dragged into the shadows without ever knowing. These stories aren't fiction, they were real, and they were hidden, until now. Number 20. Operation Paperclip. The Nazis. We brought home after the horrors of the Wow. Justice seemed simple, punish the Nazi regime, but instead, America recruited their top scientists. Through a program called Operation Paperclip, over 1,600 German engineers and physicists, many of them former Nazis, were quietly flown to the U.S. The FBI was assigned to vet them, to dig into their wartime crimes, but politics overruled ethics. Redacted reports were buried. Scientists with dark pasts went on to help build rockets. Even NASA, you might recognize one, Wernher von Braun, the father of the U.S. space program. Number 19. The Black Bag Jobs. America's secret break-ins warrants, rules, oversight. Not during J. Edgar Hoover's reign. The FBI ran black bag jobs, covert burglaries done in secret. Agents broke into homes, tapped phones, took photos, copied files. No one knew, no one approved. From activists to academics, no one was truly safe. The practice only stopped in 1966 and was finally ruled unconstitutional in 1972, but by then, the damage was done. Number 18. The Lady of Peace. Branded a threat. Jane Addams, founder of Hull House, women's suffrage leader, and the first American woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Yet she had an FBI file. Why? Because she stood against war. Because she protested the persecution of communists. Because in 1917, opposing the draft made you an enemy of the state. Her file includes surveillance, reports, and even suggestions of treason. Proof that even peace can threaten power. Number 17. Operation Solo. The FBI's deepest infiltration. Morris and Jack Childs were American citizens, Russian Jewish immigrants, but they weren't traitors. They were FBI double agents who embedded themselves deep inside the American Communist Party. They attended secret meetings, traveled abroad, met with Soviet and Chinese leaders, and fed every word back to the FBI. Operation Solo ran for over 20 years. Their files read like Cold War spy novels, except it wasn't fiction, it was real espionage. Number 16. Did Hitler escape? The FBI considered it. 1945. Hitler dies in a Berlin bunker, or did he? Soon after the war, rumors exploded. Hitler escaped, maybe to Argentina, maybe to Brazil. Some even claimed he lived in the U.S. The FBI got involved. Declassified. Memos reveal the Bureau took the report seriously. Sketches, witness interviews, strange letters. Conclusion: no evidence, but the files themselves prove just how deep the uncertainty ran. Number 15. John Lennon. Deported for peace. John Lennon wrote songs about peace, but in Nixon's America, peace could be dangerous. The FBI compiled an extensive file on Lennon after he began supporting anti-war activists. He was under surveillance. His phone was tapped, his visa status was targeted. The INS tried to deport him, all because one Beatle wanted to end a war. Number 14. Whitney Houston, the black male file pop icon, national anthem legend, beloved voice of a generation, and subject of FBI surveillance. The reason? A stalker tried to extort her for $250,000. He threatened to release personal information. The FBI intervened, tracked the suspect, built a case, and quietly added Whitney Houston's name to the Bureau's long list of celebrity files. Number 13. Walt Disney, patriot or informant. Behind Mickey Mouse and Disneyland was a man deeply tied to the U.S. government. Walt Disney worked with the FBI during Declassified on propaganda films, but even after the war he kept providing names of subversive Hollywood figures. He was officially listed as a special contact in Hoover's network. The man who built dreams also helped build blacklists. Number 12. Marilyn Monroe. Watched for who she loved. Marilyn Monroe was America's sweetheart, but when she married Arthur Miller, a suspected leftist and outspoken playwright, she gained new attention. The FBI monitored her for years. Her relationships, movements, and even theories surrounding her untimely death. Her file remains one of the most requested under FOIA. Number 11. Charlie Chaplin, the silent star, who was silenced. He made the world laugh, but behind the humor, Chaplin was politically outspoken. He criticized fascism, supported labor, spoke out for peace. That was enough. In 1952, the U.S. denied his re-entry after a trip abroad. He never returned. Chaplin's file is over 2,000 pages long, a comedian turned enemy of the state. Number 10. Steve Jobs. Denied by the government in 1991, George H.W. Bush considered appointing Jobs to a federal advisory council, so the FBI conducted a background check. They found LSD use, questionable ethics. Colleagues described him as manipulative and egocentric. Jobs was never appointed, proof that innovation doesn't always equal trust. Number 9. Helen Keller. Watched for her words. She couldn't see, she couldn't hear, but she could speak and write. Helen Keller became an outspoken socialist, critic of U.S. wars, and co-founder of the ACLU. The FBI created a 45-page file on her activism. She was proud of it. Number 8. Jackie Robinson. Baseball and blacklists. He broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, but he also challenged racism off the field. Robinson supported civil rights protests, spoke at rallies, and didn't back down, so the FBI watched him, because even heroes aren't immune to suspicion. Number 7. George Steinbrenner. Baseball, bribes, and Nixon the Yankees owner was larger than life, and neck-deep in politics. He illegally donated to Nixon's campaign, then tried to cover it up. The FBI investigated, fined him $15,000, and built a long file. He was later pardoned by President Reagan. Number 6. Amelia Earhart. The letters that made a file. She vanished in 1937, but the public never gave up. Thousands of Americans wrote to the FBI, begging them to investigate, even without evidence of a crime. The Bureau never opened a case, but her file remains, made entirely of the people's desperation. Number 5. Majestic 12. A hoax or a hint. In 1988, the FBI received a document claiming to expose the biggest UFO cover-up in U.S. history. It described a secret group, Majestic 12, formed by Eisenhower to hide alien contact. The Bureau investigated, stamped it with one word, bogus, but believers still aren't convinced. Number 4. Roswell. The truth is small. You'd expect a thick file on Roswell. The FBI's memo, just one page. It describes a flying disc suspended by a balloon. No aliens, no wreckage, just weather experiments, maybe. Or maybe that's exactly what they want us to believe. Number 3. Cattle mutilations. The paranormal files. In the 1970s, mutilated cows started showing up in the American West. Organs removed, blood drained, no tracks, no predators. Locals blamed UFOs, satanic cults, secret weapons. The FBI took it seriously, opened an official investigation. Their conclusion? Unexplained. Number 2. Donnie Brasco, the agent who became a maid-man agent. Joe Pistone vanished in 1976. He reappeared as Donnie Brasco, a jewel thief who infiltrated the Bonanno crime family. For 6 years, he lived as a mobster, attended hits, made friends, earned trust. He brought down over 100 criminals, cost the mafia over $500 million. His undercover work remains one of the most dangerous and legendary missions in FBI history. Number 1. The Zodiac cipher. Cracked after half a century, for 51 years, Cipher 340 sat unsolved. A letter from the Zodiac killer, taunting police, filled with symbols no one could decode, until 2020. A global team finally cracked the puzzle. It read, I hope you're having lots of fun trying to catch me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because I have enough slaves to serve me in paradise. Chilling, arrogant, still untraceable. The case remains open. FBI versus CIA, the secret rivalry. The FBI works inside the U.S. The CIA spies on the outside world, but they don't always get along. Before 9/11, both agencies had pieces of the puzzle, but they didn't share. A congressional report later stated, they failed to prevent the attacks not from lack of knowledge but from lack of cooperation. Their turf war may have cost lives. We've just scratched the surface. 20 secrets, 20 glimpses into the hidden history of America's most powerful law enforcement agency. But ask yourself this. What's still sealed? What's still redacted? If this is what's been declassified, what's still in the vault? Tell us what shocked you most in the comments. And if you want to see more truths pulled from the shadows, like, share, and subscribe to the True Archive. Because history doesn't whisper, it leaves a trail. And now we're following it.